Oh my god. Oh my god, did it? Did it actually work? There's definitely something moving inside this box. Hello in there. Is there perhaps a tiny, adorable pixie inside this box? I can't believe the old box lifted by a stick trick actually worked. It's like the most stereotypical oldest trick in the book. Oh my god. Oh my god. Box on a stick. Couple of berries inside. It's been a day since I set this trap. I mean, holy wow. Okay, well, just give me 1 second. I'm gonna bring you into my house. Bring you into a place where you're not just gonna fly away. Okay? And we're gonna have a conversation, okay? Alright. Okay. Okay, Tiny. Let's have a talk, you and me, okay? There we go. Out of the box. How's it going, huh? How we feeling? Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Alright? I'm not here to hurt you. Okay? Do you speak English? Hmm? I know some fairies have learned the language. You do? Okay, well that's good. My, Sylvan is a little rough, so this makes it much, much easier for me. Now, I want to have a little conversation with you, okay? Because it's starting to get a little bit dicey around here, you know? And I want you to know everything that's about to happen, you have a say, okay? This is ultimately going to be your choice, and I'll respect your choice, whatever it is. Whole reason for the old box trap was just so that I could have this conversation with you, because I know you all tend to be a little bit flighty. You especially. Tried to make contact a few times now. Usually, if I'm trying to capture a fairy, it takes a couple more tricks than just that one. That makes what I'm doing especially important, okay? So, to begin with, let me introduce myself. You may call me Flag. It's what most people I work with professionally call me these days. Don't ask me why. I've forgotten at this point. The name just stuck. It's very nice to meet you. I am a professional fairy catcher, actually. Big difference, easy. Big difference between a fairy catcher and a fairy hunter, okay? Noisy ass callers out there, I tell you what. You see, what you need to know is that I happen to work with a few organizations of like-minded mortals, mages, and a few other magical creatures to provide safe harbor for plenty of other magical creatures in this modern world, which has become increasingly hostile. A world in which those who do poach magical creatures, I'm not going to dignify them by calling them hunters, to be perfectly honest. Those who poach magical creatures of all kinds, many of which are in the modern day critically endangered. Their tools are getting a lot more sophisticated and a lot more dangerous. And there have been a couple reported in the area. Okay? So, that brings us to the reason I chose to bring you in here, alright? This place isn't the safest anymore, do you get that? And so, I would like to help facilitate your relocation if you would like that. If you would be willing to accept my help. What we can do is you sort of have one of three choices, okay? You can decide you'd rather stay here. I would advise against it, but it's ultimately your choice. In that case, I'll let you go and I won't bother you again. But I make no guarantee of protection from the poachers, okay? There are a lot of magical properties that a fairy like you has that someone like that would be all too willing to prey on. Second option, I transport you to the place of your choosing and let you loose there. Now again, in that case, you'd be out in the world and you'd be in a place that is ideally further away from the poachers, but still more vulnerable than I would personally like. Your last choice is to come with me to a preserve, okay? They are really beautiful places, wherein we have, several square miles of space. Varies from preserve to preserve, but they're usually pretty spacious. Most of them have enough room to have at least one dragon with adequate territory if, a dragon happens to be interested. So they're quite spacious locations, and they are protected both by magical defenses, tall fences or walls, cameras, security systems, and live-in caretakers who keep an eye on things, okay? And if you were to go there, then there would be certain rules you would have to follow, primarily the same agreements that any magical creature makes, any sentient magical creature that enters one of those preserves, to kind of have a healthy relationship with the live-in caretakers and make sure you don't hurt them and they don't hurt you. And you would have free range of the place, essentially. Most of those preserves typically maintain really lovely gardens with lots of space. They usually have pretty healthy fairy populations. I noticed there aren't many of you around here at this point, so if you wanted, you would be around quite a few other fairies. And you could form relationships and friendships with them. So if you're interested in that, I would be very, very happy to facilitate that for you. You're not sure? Well, that's okay. You can take your time and think about it. You can stay with me for a while if you like. I understand that this is a big decision to make. I can assure you that if things don't work out, if you feel uncomfortable, if there's anything you would like to change, then I'll make sure to check on you if you do choose to stay at one, you know? I'll check in after maybe about a month, see how you're feeling, and if you're not enjoying yourself, if you'd rather go back out into the world, then I can make sure that gets arranged. The idea is I want to provide you with as much freedom as possible while keeping you safe. You know? If you've ever missed the old magical world that was, you know? That was long before I was born, but I've heard stories, you know? If you've ever wanted to spend your time around dozens of other fairies, around satyrs and nymphs, and hell, there's one preserve that has a pretty healthy herd of perytons running around. That's quite a fun one. All sorts of hobs. There's one with a banshee. That was pretty intense. I had to have earplugs just paying a visit to that preserve just to be safe. Keep them on me. Dragons and linorms and all the magical creatures that used to be so much more common than they are. Most of them that are still alive have found themselves at a preserve. It's a damn shame. And, you know, ideally, what I want to do is try and change the world as a whole, build it into a place that's safer so you don't need preserves like that, but, well, in the world we live in, that's a choice. You're willing to try it? That's wonderful. In that case, I have this jar right here. Oh, don't get all huffy with me. It's only for a little while, okay? The nearest preserve is still a decent trip. We're going to be traveling by plane. You're not the only fairy I'll be taking with me. And so if we're going to make this work, there will be temporary accommodations. Emphasis on temporary. Today, what you and I are going to do, you don't have to get into it today, because we're not heading out today. You can just hang out in and around my little apartment that I'm staying in while I'm here for now. But when we head out, you'll probably be hanging out in the jar for probably around, I'd say 12-ish hours. And so what we're going to do, you and me together, is we're going to design you the coziest jar possible for this little trip, okay? So, I know different fairies have all kinds of different preferences, so I have a variety of supplies here that you can play with. But this should be a decent start, relatively cozy. Now, first thing I am going to suggest I have a variety of shiny rocks and pebbles here. I know plenty of fairies collect these. You're welcome to keep them after the fact. I collect them myself, so I can give them to any fairies that I happen to find. Hell, even if you decided, nah, not for me, and just headed out, I'd probably still give you a couple if you wanted them. These are nice. I have one of those polishing machines. So they've got this kind of glossy sheen to them, and they're nice and smooth. Would you like a couple of these in the jar with you? Can give you a little mirror fragment as well if you like. Oof. Almost dropped one there, my bad. Yeah, that works for you. All right. In that case, let's just put a couple of these in here. There we go. That's a decent little start there. Now, how about some twigs? A little bit cliche. These are some nice twigs. I know plenty of fairies also tend to like these. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was a very enthusiastic yes. All right. Well, let's go ahead. Is this one nice? Okay, I'll just kind of nestle this one in. Right around here. And let's take the second one as well. See, the jar life ain't looking so bad now, is it? It really is such a shame, all of this. But I want to help you, okay? You're a pretty young fairy. You've got, what, at least another 600 years ahead of you? So, hopefully, you know, if everything goes as planned, and meaningful change can be made. And I'm going to be working at that, okay? At the same time that I'm doing what I'm doing now, I'm going to be continually pushing against poaching and trying to make, you know, more parts of the world safer for magical creatures of various sorts. Most mortals aren't even aware y'all exist anymore, so pushing policy relating to you is difficult, but I believe that change can happen. And with a lifespan like yours, wow, I am absolutely certain that this is only temporary, okay? We'll find a way. one last thing that tends to be pretty common. I have some tissue paper here, okay? I'm thinking I rip some up and put it in there. You can use it as nesting material. I know that's pretty consistent, actually. I don't know if I've ever met a fairy who wasn't interested in nesting like that. Yeah, and you're no exception, huh? Well, let's go ahead and just get some of this tissue paper in there, shall we? Oh, you're really starting to look at this like it's comfy cozy, huh? Yeah, you're a fan? I tell you what. I don't normally do this, but if you really want, you can keep the jar and everything in it. Whole thing, whole package deal, you know? We arrive at the preserve. You set the terms of your stay there, you know, we negotiate the contract, make sure you have nice, easy outs if you want them. Make sure you have all the protections that you deserve. I know the caretakers of this preserve, they're usually great people, you know, they're a wonderful bunch who genuinely care in the same way that I do. So you can have a little conversation with them. I'll be there if you want me to be. And as and when you're all settled in, I can help you set that jar out in the garden. You can have yourself a nice, cozy little place. All right, you just tell me when on the tissue paper, okay? I'll keep ripping off pieces for you. Oh man, you know what? I kind of get it. If I was your size, I'd probably want to curl up in that jar too. Looks pretty cozy, if you ask me. All right, let's just do a little bit more. There we go. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's looking real nice in there. How do I plan on making meaningful change? Well, that is the question. It's kind of tricky, too. See, a big part of why most people don't believe in you all these days is they can't see you. I mean, even if you flew right in front of them, they'd think you were just some butterfly, right? That magical protection of obscurity was protective in the past, you know? but these days a little bit less so. Because it means that it's very hard to raise attention to the kinds of issues you all face. But, well, for those not innately gifted, who don't have the natural magical capacity to see the world as it is, there are still ways, potions that can be brewed that allow them to see. Really, my goal is to find a way, and I've been working with an alchemist on this, to brew that type of potion and then distribute it en masse. Once people are aware of all of the magical animals and magical people of the world who are threatened by constant human expansion, by poaching, by all of these horrible things, well, I can't guarantee everyone will be on board for helping and protecting, but something will be done. The first step in any meaningful change is being aware that there's an issue to begin with, right? So, that's the plan. I'm gonna keep doing what I do to try and keep fairies like yourself out of the hands of people who might want to hurt or mistreat you. I'll continue doing that for as long as I'm able. And I'll continue working with various alchemists, caretakers, and other magical conservationists to develop new strategies and new methods to improve the situation overall. I promise. I'm going to do everything in my power to try and make this better, okay? I mean, from the moment I first saw a fairy, I was transfixed, you know? I was just a kid at the time. I was absolutely enthralled. I thought you were all so incredibly beautiful. I was lucky enough to be lightly blessed with minor fairy magic. That's why I, to this day, don't need any potions or anything to see the world as it is. It's why I'm capable of some of the things I am. So, if you ask me, I think this is the right thing to do, and I also think I sort of owe all of fairy kind an immeasurable debt for introducing me to all of the incredible magic of the world. I want to do right by you. Okay, yes, okay, you can have the jar now. Yep, it's yours. You can have that. Alright, well, there are a few other fairies that I've seen floating around the area that I still haven't had the chance to make contact with. So, I want to see about trying to make contact either by just initiating a conversation or catching them if need be. And probably in around a week, we'll see about paying a visit to the nearest sanctuary, and we'll go from there, okay? Alright, Tiny. Fist bump? Come on. Come on, tiny fist bump. Hell yeah. Okay. Well, you enjoy your jar. I'm gonna get to work.